Hello everyone, welcome to ACW. In this video, we are going to learn how to change an active voice sentence into passive voice within 15 seconds. Are you all ready? Yes, I'm also waiting eagerly to teach you. So we can begin a sentence either with the subject or with the object. This fact decides whether the sentence is in active voice or in passive voice. So to understand this topic better, we need to know certain terms. What are the terms? Subject, object, verb. First, I will start with the subject. What is subject? Subject is doer of the action. Doer of the action is nothing but a subject. It may be a noun or pronoun. And the next term is object, receiver of the action, which means who receives the action. It is nothing but a noun or pronoun. I hope you understood what is subject and what is object. So subject is nothing but doer of the action and the object receiver of the action. So both may be a noun or pronoun. Yes. So I'll give you an example. Look at the example. Here he has drunk tea. What is the example here? He has drunk tea. So he is the subject because it is the doer of the action. Has drunk is the verb because it is an action. And tea is an object. Okay. So I'll give you another example. Tea has been drunk by him. So tea has been drunk by him. So again, so tea is the subject, has been drunk by preposition, and him is the object. So though the word tea is used as the subject, it is not doing the action. So it is in passive voice. So that is why though it is the subject, it is not the doer of the action. So in the definition, I clearly explained sentence can be begin with a sentence either with the subject or object. So in the first sentence, it started with the subject. In the second sentence, started with the object. Okay, if sentence starts with the subject, it will be active voice. It will be in active voice. And if it starts with the object, so it will be in passive voice. Okay, so another term is voice. We should know what is voice. What is voice? Voice is the form of the verb which indicates whether a person or thing does something or something has been done to a person or a thing. So simply shows that. So voice will decide who is doing the action, who is receiving the action. Okay, so another very important term is that active voice. Okay, yeah, what is active voice? When a verb form shows that the subject has done something, it is known as active voice. So if subject does something, that will be in active voice form. Example, he has drunk tea. He has drunk tea. Look at who has drunk tea here? He. So he is the doer of the action, and has drunk is the verb, action words, and tea is the object. So it is the receiver of the action. So the sentence started with the subject, the doer of the action. So it is in active voice. And the another one important one is passive voice. What is passive voice? So when a verb form shows that something has been done to the subject, it is known as passive voice. So something has happened to the subject, it is known as passive voice. So receiver of the action, which shows that it is in passive voice. Hope you understood. Yeah. What is the example? Tea has been drunk by him. So here tea is the subject, has been drunk is the verb, by is the preposition, and him is the object. So tea is used as a subject, but it is not doing the action. It is not doing the action. So it is in passive voice. So to identify passive voice, what we have to do? If you want to identify whether the sentence is in active voice or in passive voice, what we have to do? Before the main verb, if we have any one of the words like being, been, be, I'm repeating, before V3, if there are words like being, been, be, Simply you can identify, if you can recognize, it is in passive voice. Look at it. So what is the main verb here? Drunk. So drunk is V3. So what is used here? Being is used. In the place of being, be, being, being. So definitely it will be in passive voice form only. Okay. So to understand better, we need to know even helping verbs. What are the helping verbs? So if we come across any one of the following helping verbs in active voice, if in active voice, what we have to do? We should write being after them. I'm repeating. If we come across any one of the following helping verbs like am, is, are, was, were, what should be written? Being should be written. Being should be written after them. So am, when am is used, we have to use being. So am being. If it is less being should be written. So is being. Are being. Was was being. Were being. So if am, is, are, was, were are written or are there in the active voice, plus being should be written after them. Yes. And next one is pronouns. What are pronouns? I, we, you, he, she, it, they are pronouns. So they are in we can call them as subject pronouns. But sometimes they may come in the object place also. We can call them as object pronouns. So subject pronoun is I and the object pronoun of I is me, we, us, you, he, him, she, her, it, they, them. So I hope you understood. And if subject noun if it is a subject noun, then we should keep that as subject only, that noun only. Yeah. So now let me start active passive voice with assertive sentences. Let me give one example. He is throwing a ball. What is the example? He is throwing a ball. So what is subject here? He. So subject is always, I'm going to show the color with blue, and he is throwing verb, and the verb is always going to be showed with the green color, and a ball is the object. So object is always going to be used with the black color only. So he is throwing a ball. So subject is he is throwing verb, a ball is a verb. Okay. So to change from active to passive, first what we have to do, we have to write the object as subject in passive. We have to write subject as object. Sorry, object as a subject. What is object here? A ball. So a ball. After that, what we have to do? We have to identify helping verb. What is the helping verb here? So is the helping verb. What should be added? I've already told you. After am, is, are, was, were, plus being should be written. So here is plus being. What it becomes? It will become is being. So in passive voice, always the verb must be always in V3 form only. So the verb forms of throwing is are throw, threw, thrown. So we have to write only V3 form. So the V3 form is thrown. Next, after main verb, what should be written? Preposition by should be used. So by. So next, what is the subject here? So he is the subject. So the object form of, so object pronoun of he is him. So him. So I hope you understood. Next example. They are reading books. So they are reading books. They is a subject. Are reading verb, books, object. So first step is that object becomes subject. So object became as a subject, books. Next, helping verb. Are is the helping verb. What should be added? Being should be added. Next, what are the verb forms of reading? Verbs of reading: read, read, read. Read, read, read. So V3 form should be used. So read. After main verb, preposition by should be used. Okay. Next, subject they, and object pronoun of they, them. So them. So books are being read. Okay. Next example. I was playing cricket. I was playing cricket. So I is the subject. Was playing verb, cricket object. So first object becomes subject, cricket, and the helping verb is was. What should be added? Being. So was plus being, was being, and what we have to write? V3 form. What are the verb forms of playing? Play, played, played. So V3 form should be written played. After main verb, preposition by should be used. And last and final, subject is I, and the object pronoun of I is me. So me should be written. So cricket was being played by me is a passive form of I was playing cricket. Next example, you were eating eggs. You were eating eggs. So you is the subject and were eating verb, eggs object. So object becomes subject in passive voice. So eggs, the helping verb is were. So what should be added? Plus being should be added. So were plus being, were being, and the verb forms of eating: eat, ate, eaten. So the V3 form is eaten. Next, what should be written? Preposition by should be written. So by. Next, what is the subject here? You is the subject. So pronoun form of you, object pronoun of you is you only. So you. So eggs were being eaten by you is the passive form of you were eating eggs. Next, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to introduce some more helping verbs. What are, so far we have used am, is, are, was, were. What should be added to them? Being. Now the other words you may come across: have, has, had also. What are they? Have, has, had. So what should be added to them? If you come across any one of those helping verbs, plus being should be added. So look at have plus being, have been. Has plus been, has been. Had plus been, had been. Okay, yeah. So again, I'm going to introduce pronouns: I, we, you, he, she, it, they. So I becomes me, we becomes us, you becomes you, and he becomes him, she becomes her, it becomes it, and last and final, they becomes them. Sometimes straight away you will be given, or you may be given noun only, and then you can write noun as it is. Yeah, I'm going to give you some examples. They have brought gifts. They have brought gifts. What is the subject here? They is the subject, and have brought verb, and gifts is the object. So who is doing the action here? They. Who is receiving? Receiving the action? Gifts. So from active to passive, what we have to do first step is object becomes subject. Gifts. Yeah. What is the helping verb? Have. What should be added to that? Plus been. So have plus been, have been. So what are the verb forms of brought? Bring, brought, brought. Bring, brought, brought. So what should be written? V3 form should be written. So brought. After main verb, what comes? Preposition by comes. And the subject is they. So the object pronoun of they is them. So them. Gifts have been brought by them is a passive form of they have brought gifts. Another example, he has drunk tea. He has drunk tea. What is the subject here? He. Verb has drunk. Tea is the object. So what we have to do? First we have to write object as a subject. So the helping verb is has plus been should be added to that. So has plus been, has been, and the verb forms of drunk is drink, drank, drunk, drink, drank, drunk. So what should be written? V3 form should be written. So what is the V3 form? Drunk. So after that preposition by should be used. Yeah. Next, what is the subject here? He is the subject, and the object pronoun of he is him. So tea has been drunk by him. Next example, dog had bitten Ramya. So dog is the subject, had bitten is the verb, and Ramya is the object. So object becomes subject in passive voice. Yeah. Next, what is the helping verb? Had. Had is the helping verb. So been should be added to that. So had plus been, had been. Next, the V3 form. V3 form verb forms of bitten are bite, bit, bitten, and V3 form is bitten. And what we have to write? Preposition by should be used after that, and the subject is dog. So noun is used here. So we should use as dog only. The noun should be used as noun only. So the passive form of dog had bitten Ramya is Ramya had been bitten by dog. Next, another rule. So if the helping verbs are will, shall, can, would, should, could, may, might, must, so it should be added with plus be. So will plus be, will be, shall plus be, shall be, and can plus be, can be, would plus be, would be, should plus be, should be, and could plus be, could be, may plus be, may be, might plus be, might be, must plus be, must be. Okay, I hope you understood. So will, shall, can, would, should, could, may, might, must will be followed with be. Next example, Chandu will write homework. Who will write homework? Chandu will write homework. So Chandu is the subject, will write is the verb, homework is the object. So object becomes subject in passive voice. So homework. Yeah. Next, will is the helping verb, and plus be should be added to that. So will plus be, will be, and the verb forms of write are write, wrote, written. So V3 form should be written. Next, preposition by should be used after that. Next, what is the subject here? Subject is Chandu. So Chandu will be Chandu only. So Chandu. So homework will be written by them. It's a passive voice. Next example, I shall do the work. I shall do the work. Now onwards, you should be very careful. Look at what is used here. I shall. So actually, shall is used with the pronoun I and we. Shall is used only with pronouns like I and we. I shall, we shall. In the rest of the places, we don't use shall. So here the subject is I and the object is the work. So first we have to write object as a subject. Yes. So we people feel that as per our rule, so helping verb, what is the helping verb here? Shall. But we should not use shall because subject is I, so that shall is used. But here what is subject in passive voice? The work. Work is the subject. So which helping verb we have to use? So will should be used. So actually I shall, but the work is nothing but it. what comes after it? Will comes. So it will. So what is helping verb here? Will. Will plus be, will be. And the verb forms of do, did, done. So V3 should be written. So done. After that, what we have to write? Preposition by. And the subject is I, and the object pronoun of I is me. So the work will be done by me. Next, I am right. I am drinking tea. I am drinking tea. Sorry, I did not give colors here. No problem. I is the subject. I am drinking is the verb, and tea is the object. First, object becomes subject. Yeah, tea is the subject. So again, I am saying. So here, am helping verb is am because subject is I. So we write with I am. So I am. But what is the subject in passive voice? T is the subject. So T am or T is. T am or T is, which is sounding good. So T is, right? So is plus being, is being. So the verb forms of drinking are drink, drank, drunk. So V3 form drunk. Next, preposition by should be written. Next, the subject is I, and the object pronoun of I is me. Then the passive voice of I am drinking tea is being drunk by me. Next example, they were playing cricket. So they is the subject, were playing is the verb, cricket is the object. So object becomes subject in passive voice. Cricket. Yo. So they is a plural, so that is why plural helping verb were is used. But here, so they were. But here cricket is the subject of passive voice. So cricket was singular. Cricket was. So was plus being, was being. Next, verb forms of playing are play, played, played. So V3 form played should be written. Next, preposition by, and the subject is they. Sorry, instead of they I have written dog. So I typographical mistake, please ignore me. So they becomes them. Sorry, the cricket was being played by them. Again, I am saying there is a typographical mistake. Instead of they I wrote, sorry, instead of them I wrote dog. Please ignore me. Right. So Rani follows me. Rani follows me. Look at it. So Rani is the subject, follows is the verb, and me is the object. So it is what is used here? The pronoun is used instead of it is in passive. It is in object place. So object pronoun used. Okay. So what is the object becomes subject. So what is the me becomes as I, because it is in subject position, so that subject pronoun should be used. So me is the object place, so object pronoun is used. So I. There is a problem. Actually, up to now, there were some helping verbs. With the help of some helping verbs, we did it. But here we don't have helping verbs. If there are no helping verbs, if there is no helping verb in the statement, what we have to do? We have to identify main verb. What is the main verb? Which form it is there in? It is in V1 form. So if the sentence or if the statement is in V1 form, so what should be added? Any one of am, is, are should be added. Any one of am, is, are should be added. So as per the subject, we have to choose any one of the helping verb. So what is the subject here? I. So tell me, I am is correct, or I is correct, or I are correct? So I am, right? So am. So am should be written. I am. Next, what are the verb forms of follows? Followed, followed, followed. So V3 form should be written. So followed. Next, preposition by should be used. Next, what is the subject here? Rani. So Rani will be Rani because nouns will not be changed. So Rani. So I am followed by Rani. I am followed by Rani is a passive form of Rani follows me. Next example, Radha eats an apple. Radha eats an apple. So Radha is the subject. Verb is eat, eats, object apple. Okay. So first object should be written. So an apple. Next, we have to identify whether it is in V1 form or V2 form because helping verbs are not present in the sentence. So identify eat, eats V1, ate V2, eaten V3. So V1 form. What are the helping verbs of V1? Am, is, are. So look at again. So an apple is singular. So it may be am or is. So we never use an apple am. So is, right? So is an apple is. Next, what are the verb forms of eats? Eat, ate, eaten. So the V3 form is eaten. So preposition by should be followed after the main verb. So by, and the subject is Radha, and the Radha will become Radha only. So an apple is eaten by Radha. It's a passive form. Next example, birds build nests. Birds build nests. So birds subject, build verb, nest object. So object becomes subject. So nest. So it is in V1 form because build, built, built. So V1, any one of am, is, are should be used. So nests are plural. Nests is a plural word. So are should be used undoubtedly. Yeah. So nests are. So the verb forms of build are build, built, built. So the verb form V3 form of build is built. Preposition by should be used after that, and the subject is birds. So birds will be birds only. Yeah. So nets are built by birds. Next example, I helped her. So I is the subject, helped verb, her is the object. So object becomes subject. So it is subject pronoun. So that is why I used she, right? So we have to identify main verb. Is it V1 or V2 or V3? So it is in V2 form. So what are the verb forms of help, helped, helped? Sir, you may get one doubt. It is even V2 also. It is even V3 also. How to identify whether it is V2 or V3? Before V3, always there will be have any one of have or has or had. Have, has, had comes before V3. So those words are not there. So that this is V2. So if it is in V2 form, the helping verbs are was or were. So if the subject is singular, was should be used. If the subject is plural, were should be used. So here the subject is she. So that was should be used. So she was. The helping verbs of main verbs of helped are help, helped, helped. So V3 form should be written, and the by preposition should be written, and the subject is I and object is me. Next example, Rani reads many books. Rani reads many books. So Rani is the subject. Read, sorry, Rani read many books. Sorry, Rani read many books. So here Rani subject, read main verb, and many books object. So object becomes subject. So many books, and it is in V2 form. So if it is V2, was are were are the helping verbs. So many books plural, so that were should be used. So many books were, and the verb forms of read are read, 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 read. So read should be used, and preposition by should be written, and the subject is Rani. So Rani will be Rani only. So many books were read by Rani is the passive form of Rani read many books. She looked after me. Sorry, she looked after him. She looked after him. Looked after means take care of. Okay, so she is the subject, looked after is the verb, it's a phrasal verb, and him is the object. So object becomes subject. So he is the subject pronoun of him, object pronoun, right? So he is the subject. So looked after, V2. If it is V2, was or were are the helping verbs. So he is a singular, so that was should be used. So he was, and the verb forms of look after, looked after, looked after. So looked after should be written because V3 form should be written. And after main verb, preposition by should be used. And she is a subject pronoun and her is the object pronoun. And he was looked after by her is a passive form of he looked after him. So far we have discussed about what is active voice and passive voice, and with different kind of examples. I hope you understood. And this is about active voice and passive voice with assertive sentence. I repeat that assertive sentence always starts with the subject and ends with full stop. For more videos, please subscribe my YouTube channel SEW Shekar. Please do subscribe and share my video to many people, and tap bell icon for more updates. Thank you very much.